Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, everyone, and we are here to present all about 3 pillars of conservation in UNES. Next slide, please. Okay, now as you can see, this presentation will be presented by one, Berliana Dwi Tamerliani Devi, or me as your moderator. I'm majoring in English Education, Faculty of Language and Art. And then Nadia Andriana, Indah Ayu Cahyani, and Nur Hasirin Samaidan. Okay, first, in introduction, as you can see, there are 3 questions. Now, for the first question is, what is conservation? Conservation means the protection of life support system. Preservation, which includes the preservation and sustainable use of natural resources and socio-cultural values, as in the UNNES vision of conservation as the basis for thinking and acting for all UNNES citizens. Conservation is manifested in all UNNES activities, both in the field of university Tridharma and in the association of campus life. Now, for the second question, we have the purpose of conservation. So the development of UNNES as a conservation-minded university contains several objectives. First, to support the government efforts in implementing the management of biological and non-biological natural resources and ecosystems. Second, protect, preserve, and utilize natural resources in a sustainable manner through education, research, and service activities for the creation of a balanced ecosystem in it. And third, foster mental attitude, behavior, responsibility, and the participation of the UNNES academic community in efforts to conserve biodiversity, preserve the environment, arts, culture, and sports. Now, for the last question, what are the pillars of conservation in UNNES? 3 pillars of conservation in UNNES consist of, first, values and character, second, art and culture, and 3, natural resources and environment. For this last question, we have a lot to discuss, so this topic will be explained further by my other partners.
Okay, thank you, Anna. On this occasion, I will explain the value and character contained in each faculty. Previously, I will explain what value and characteristics are. Value in relation to moral is something that can perfect humans according to their nature and has moral weight when integrated into certain moral behavior. Character determines our person, thought, and action. Good character is an intrinsic motivation to do what is good according to the highest standard of behavior in every situation. Conservation value and character have been developed by each faculty and become the common property of all UNNES residents. Now that we know what value and characters are, I will now explain the value and characteristics. Sorry guys, my internet is so bad. So aku bangun ulang. Now that we know what value and characteristic, I will now explain the value and characteristic of each faculty at the State University of Semarang. First, inspirational for FIP. Idea or idea to act, do something international without knowing the time, place, and condition. Number two, humanist for FBS. Respect other people, hope, and fight for the realization of a better life association based on humanitarian principles. Number three, caring for peace. Ability to hit, pay attention, and ignore. Caring for the environment is an attitude and action that always seek to prevent environmental damage and develop effort to repel environmental damage. Number four, innovative for FMIPA. The ability to utilize thinking, imagination, stimulant, and the environment in producing new products. Number five, sportsmanship for FIK. Nice, honest, fair to opponent, willing to admit the advantage, strength, truth of the opponent or defeat, weakness, own mistakes. Number six, creative for FT. The ability to think and act to solve problems intelligently and be able to produce new things. Number seven, honest for FA. Be a person who can be trusted both in words, action, and work. Number eight, fair for FH. Not siding with the wrong, siding with the right. Thank you.
Okay, for second topics, for second pillars, there's art and culture. Sorry. There's fifth pillar. There's fifth. The ethics, art, and culture pillars program includes expression, maintenance, seeding, and giving vitality to ethics, art, and local culture through maintenance, documentation, education, dissemination, and promote its elements. First, there's art conservation. In art conservation art is a human endeavor, and therefore to recreate a portion of the reality he translated through a metaphysical assessment. UNES focuses themselves to do conservation for types of works of art. First, there's four types. First is traditional dance, second traditional performing arts, third traditional musical arts, and fourth traditional craft. Next is there's religious culture. There are five kinds of religious dimension, namely first, ideological dimension, second, ritualistic, third, experiential dimension, intellectual dimension, and last dimension, consequential. Dimension of belief, ideological. This dimension is part of the diversity associated with what the belief and be a belief system. Dimension of worship or religious practice, ritualistic. This dimension is part of related religiosity with behavior called religious rituals such as worship, obedience, and other things done to demonstrate commitment to the religion he professes. Dimensions of appreciation or experience. This dimension refers to the consequence that caused by religion techniques, teachings is general behavior that is not directly and specifically defined by religion as in the ritualistic dimension. Dimension of knowledge intellectual. Every religion has a certain amount of information that must be known to his followers. Dimension of experience consequential. This practice refers to the identification of the consequences of belief one's religion, practice, experience, and knowledge from day to day. The culture that exists today is from of accumulation and synthesis of the culture that developed in past to present. In the daily life practice of UNNES residents, there are several national culture that is preserved by the resident of UNNES, such as gotong royong, celebration, and solidarity. These three cultures have known as an important culture that is developed into an identity Indonesian nation. Next is local language in traditional culture. Language language occupies an important role in human life. Language can be seen as a cultural product as well as development to culture itself. As a cultural product, language reflects value, system and cultural development of society. The, the diversity of regional languages at UNES continues to grow. Java is still a language that gets attention in Indonesia Local Language Conservation Program. Such a decision is a strategic decision taken by considering various aspects such as characteristic and vision of the institution, social responsibility towards surrounding communities and their potential and limitation. Next, traditional sport. Traditional sports. Sport is one of the many activities referred to and associated with activities that uphold values sportsmanship. There are 7 components of development character that can be applied to everyday life as well as on campus. Namely, first, there's 7 in here. First, excellent in performance, showing best effort, joy and pleasure in participate full joy, fairness, hardness and fairness in all activities, respect other nation, culture, religions, race and individuals, respect other 5, human quality development and development man, leadership by sharing, training, working and competing together with us. Leadership demonstrated through sharing, practicing, work and compete fairly. 7 last, peaceful coexistence between different countries in peaceful life peace among the nation. Okay, we next to the next pillar, the last pillar. Berhasirin.
And 3. Natural resource and environment. Indonesia has abundant natural resources both on land, in the water, and in the abundance of natural resources that we have is the basic capital of natural development in all five. These natural resources should be protected, conserved, and used sustainably so that they can support the welfare of the Indonesian people. And as a form of community survey, UNNES has established 5 main programs to support the pillar of natural resources and environment conservation. They are first, biodiversity conservation through green sector and internal transportation. 3. Risk management. 4. Paperless policy. And 5. Clean energy. Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you Nadia, Indah, and Nur Hasirin for the explanation. Now we can conclude that Indonesia. Wait, sorry. Now we can conclude that UNNES, as a conservation-oriented university, is determined to apply the principles of protection, preservation, and sustainable use of natural resources and cultural arts, as well as environmentally friendly in the implementation of the university's Tridharma. It means that the development of UNNES as a university with a conservation perspective means that all citizens take an active role in efforts to conserve biodiversity and preserve the environment as well as arts and cultures. So that's all from us. And I'm sorry for any mistakes. Thank you so much and see you and thank you. I'm so nervous.
Aku juga ini.
Sorry,
Coba ya.